architectural model of the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. What we have here is a representation of what we've been able to build inside. Dispatch center, and on the mezzanine floor we have management. So right ahead of us is the reception. We have the ICT and server rooms here, and then straight ahead to the left we have a simulation training room which will be used to train the dispatchers who are in this big volume that we're able to achieve. The dispatchers are seated in pods of 6 people each. We have 6 of them. And part of this dispatch center, Your Excellency, is an incident room which will be used for national emergency coordination with various stakeholders in the government. From there, we have now the management offices, which is now what we created above. We have a training room. Sorry to take you back. On the ground floor, we have a lactation room because we are taking care of mothers. And then when we go up to the mezzanine floor, we have a breakout area for the dispatchers because they'll be working in shifts of 8 hours each. So we provided for them a breakout area where they are able to take their breaks. We have a training room because we have sometimes external facilitators and for ongoing training. We have offices which are open plan offices for all. This is essentially a management office for the operation center. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now you'll do an unveiling.
Commemorative plaque, which is Excellency Makofi kwake.
Alafu Mheshimiwa Rais sasa atakata utepe, the cutting of the ribbon. Makofi kwakiwa na CEO pale. Makofi kwake Your Excellency, tunaweza kata sasa, and the ribbon is now open for the center. Sasa tukiendelea kwa lactation room.
Okay. If a patient has a heart attack, that's a cardiac arrest. If someone can't breathe, that's a pulmonary arrest. If you've had any major trauma, accident, falling down, construction, anything that has hurt you, that's determined as an evacuable condition. If you're losing blood, the mothers who lose blood during childbirth, we call that shock. Consciousness, anyone who's not conscious, that is an emergency. If you have severe respiratory distress and you can't breathe, that's an emergency. Your Excellency, seizures are emergencies, and those are termed as priority 1 emergencies. Chest pain, any sort of chest pain that is unrelenting is an emergency. A stroke is an emergency. Snake bites in Kenya, 3 people every day, that is an emergency, as well as rabies. So these are what we term priority 1 emergencies. Now, Your Excellency, will go right through here. Your Excellency, this week is breastfeeding week. It just so happens to coincide with this visit. And this room is where our dispatchers who have babies come to rest as they do their dispatching. We want to be baby friendly. We have a fridge for their milk. We have lactation. We have a sink, and the mother is able to really come look at her baby.
How are you? Wow.
Wow. Oh. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. So this is one of our dispatchers. So during her shift work, she's able to calm down and take care of the baby.
Hi.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So right through this way? Yes, thank you. So, Your Excellency, now this is the main corridor. The level to go upstairs is that way, but we won't go up. We'll show it to you from the room. Your Excellency, we have 10 commandments. And these are the commandments that guide us as we do our dispatch. A dispatcher must always stay calm because we always are dealing with heavy emergencies and a lot of panic. So we say you must be calm. You must always respond in time. And this is a measure, Your Excellency, that will be our KPI. How quickly are we responding? You must be able to determine the location fast. That is the most life-saving skill that we need. You must determine, is this life in immediate danger? You then must prioritize. According to the clinical conditions I've just taken you through, you must prioritize. You must then find the nearest appropriate ambulance. You must give instructions, continue communicating, and serve the clients with dignity and respect.
Very good.
This is our workflow, and this is what you'll be seeing the whole of today. We'll take you through all these steps. We'll take you through when a call is received, how we answer a call, and you'll be on call simulating that, the confirmation of the location, how we identify emergencies, Your Excellency, how we determine priority, how we dispatch, how we provide instructions, how we then monitor the ambulance, confirm arrival, and close the incident. Now, this is one of the most important rooms, Your Excellency. This is a simulation room. This is where we train our dispatchers. As they dispatch, they must go through mandatory training, and it must be frequent. You appreciate we are doing emergency calls, so we must always be on point. Now, Red Cross will be here to take us through some of the trainings that they do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, sir, my name is Benjamin Mwangi from the Kenya Red Cross Training Institute. And with your kind permission, allow me to take you through briefly what happens in this room. This is our training room for emergency medical dispatchers. And in the continuum of care, we have the pre-hospital, and we have the emergency department, and we also have the definitive care. For the success of those three, and to midwife the whole process, we must have a very skilled dispatcher and a knowledgeable dispatcher who is normally taken through the three processes. The first one is the call receiving activities, which is basically engagement of the caller from the dispatch center. And the second one is the dispatch activities, whereby we are talking about resource allocation and resource tracking. And the last part of the process that we take them through in the training is post-dispatch activities. Key in that aspect is data entry. And we want that data to help us in accountability and also informed decisions in the process going forward. Now, we also have a customized training. And in this case, we are talking about the dispatchers of the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. And we are taking them through the rules, emergency call, that they need to ask the caller when the caller calls. And the second last part of that is now the whole process of priority dispatch guide from priority 1, priority 2, priority 3, priority 4, which is non-emergency cases. And by the end of the whole process, the dispatcher must satisfy themselves that they have engaged the caller properly. So we normally have those emergency cases that warrant evacuation. They start from cardiac arrest all the way to severe respiratory distress, and we also have seizures all the way to animal bites. So that is, in a nutshell, what the training entails. Yes. From the team. So it's a conjoint kind of training. Yes.
When somebody is trained
as an emergency medical dispatcher. Yes. Yes. Mm. Mm. Yeah.
How long does it cost them?
We have a short course of 2 weeks and a long-term course of a month. Yes, so it depends on what you want to achieve. Yes. Yes.
And so we hope to also increase the number of people we are training as paramedics, because if we were to get 4,000 ambulances operating, we need to have at least 16,000 paramedics readily trained. So that's the other part of this ambulance dispatch center. It's creating demand for other services, including in training. Thank you.
Thank you very much, people. So you're trained. So you can handle any situation, any emergency situation. Ask the right questions. You can do everything. Great.
Basi. Excuse me. Get this microphone. Excuse me.
Any condition that is yellow is a standard medical condition that requires monitoring. Code green, we do not evacuate for an ambulance. Now, Your Excellency, as we come in, before we get into the center, this here, Your Excellency, is what we call the whole of government approach when it comes to emergencies. So should there be a fire, a disaster in Kenya, the police can come here, the firefighters can come here, Ministry of Health is here, security is here. All the operations of government that require to deal with a multi-incident would sit here, plan, and ensure that the response is done well. As our teams are dispatching ambulances, a whole of government approach is taking place here. Yes, Your Excellency, it's the incident room. Yes, 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 yes.
The other actors other than health, so that there is one central response to any event that is.
And all countries must have a whole of government approach when it comes to emergencies. So this would be open to the police, to the IG.
If a building collapses,
Yes,
the dispatchers have a role.
yes,
The police have a role.
yes,
The disaster management have a role.
Yes.
All of them,
They can sit here.
yes, yes,
For ease of coordination.
yes, yes. So right through this way. Yes, right through this way, Your Excellency. So, Your Excellency, this here is now the heart of the dispatch center. Welcome to the dispatch center, and we'll come right here, Your Excellency. This dispatch center is what you are unveiling and commissioning today. All Kenyans, all people who are resident, anyone who is in this land of Kenya will be able to access emergency services after today. And Your Excellency will take you through the step-by-step process of how this takes place, from how we onboard an ambulance. And Dr. Kariuki, the CEO of KPMDC, will start us off.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm very fine. I'm Dr. David Kariuki, Chief Executive Officer at the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. Your Excellency, the first step under Taifa Care Emergency Services is identifying service providers and ambulances that are eligible to be able to provide safe transfer of clients from the point of emergency to the hospital. So what we have done as of now, Your Excellency, we already have 596 ambulances that have qualified to provide these services. And they are spread across the 47 counties, Your Excellency, and by all types of providers, Your Excellency. We have 330 of them are from county governments. Faith-based have 23, private providers have 202, and our national government hospitals have 8. These numbers keep rising as more providers express interest to join Taifa Care Emergency Services. The other thing we look at, Your Excellency, is the mode of transport, whether it's by land, by air, or by water. We already have 2 water ambulances based at Lamu County, so that every Kenyan can access services irrespective of where they are based. One of the things we do, Your Excellency, is that we take very rigorous checks to ensure that these ambulances are fit for purpose. So we have what we call basic life support ambulances. Your Excellency, that's an ambulance that is able to take somebody who is sick but relatively stable. For example, they just have an illness that they are not able to walk, and they are moved from one facility to the other. So we call them basic life ambulances. We then have the advanced life support ambulances. Your Excellency, these are the ambulances, for example, for those who get cardiac arrest, severe trauma, and such. So we have identified 85 of those currently, and 511 of the land ambulances. So, Your Excellency, this depicts the counties where all these ambulances are based, and as you can see from the map, all counties in the country actually have an ambulance. So this service is available nationally as we speak. The color of the map indicates the deeper the color, the more the number of ambulances in that county. Your Excellency, this can help us even decide on where to invest more. You can see where we are based in Nairobi, we currently have the highest number of ambulances. Your Excellency, that is where we are. Is the first step in the emergency service provision, identifying the right providers. Once we have done this, Your Excellency, one of the things around digitization is that all this has been done digitally, except where we have to physically identify the equipment in the ambulance, that is a physical exercise. Once we have done that, we provide this information digitally to the Digital Health Agency so that they can now map out where each of these ambulances is, and I'll hand over to my colleague, Dr. Joyce, to take you through that process.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. Joyce Wamishwe from the Digital Health Agency. So we want to move the 500 or so ambulances towards the SHA National Ambulance Dispatch Center fleet. So we are using a GPS gadget that we are putting in all public ambulances, and we've also put in Red Cross and St. John Ambulance, and we are also facilitating the privates to have the gadget. So once the gadget is put, we then are able to see the ambulances, because the other reason why we need the gadget is that an ambulance claim is based on the distance that the ambulance has moved. So when it's 25 kilometers and below, there is a certain price, and when it's above, then there is another certain price. So from here we can even be able to see we have the water ambulance. So just show the Afya 1 in Lamu. That is Afya 1. It's been floating throughout the whole day, but it's there. And then we are able to also see from a satellite view, just let's see, and which has traffic overlay. So we are able to also know, as we move towards the dispatch, you'll be able to see why this is very important. So once this ambulance is on this particular interface, to now make it available for dispatch, the crew must do something on the ambulance point of care solution. Basically check the ambulance, make sure it has everything, gloves and anything else that will be needed, then click and say, I'm ready. And that's when the ambulance, as you proceed, you'll see green ambulances, those are available for dispatch, and the red ambulance means it's moving to take a person to hospital. Thank you very much. I hand you over to the SHA CEO.
Allow me to cross. So, Your Excellency, now you'll witness a real live dispatch that we are simulating, and this is where it all takes place. This is actually what all these dispatchers, 40 of them, do with 8-hour shifts. And right here we have Claudine and Stanley. These are SHA staff employed by SHA, and they are dispatchers. And they'll be able to take you through how a dispatch process takes place, and we'll start.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Claudine. I am a dispatch officer at the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. So I'm fine, thank you. So I'm going to take you through the system that we use to receive calls and to dispatch these ambulances. This is how it looks. It is in 3 phases. We have the part where we collect the caller information. Our system automatically picks the number of this caller. We then take their name and determine the incident type. There is a single incident where there is one patient, and a mass casualty event. This is several patients. And then if the patient is known, we'll be able to use the ID to get their biographic data, the name and the medical cover. On the next tab, We then collect the clinical information. This information is based on the description of the incident by the caller. This information we use to prioritize the incident. It can either be life-threatening, where we need to act quickly or we lose this patient, or it can be urgent, which also we need to act quickly but not as dire as a life-threatening illness and an urgent situation. After that, this helps us to dispatch the correct ambulance with the adequate resources to handle this emergency. Once we've determined the priority of the incident, we move to the incident location. With consent of the caller, our system pins the location of that caller. If not, we manually enter this information once the patient has consented. We then, with the information, are able to dispatch either road ambulance or a boat ambulance that is closest to this case and has the appropriate resources. So for this case, we get an ambulance, and it will also assign the closest health facility with adequate resources to handle the emergency. In our system, we can see how many ICU beds are free, how many HDU beds are free, and how close the hospital is. Once we've submitted this incident, all this information goes to the dashboard of the emergency medical technician in the ambulance we assign, so that they can go now to pick the patient. As the ambulance is en route, we are going to be giving this patient pre-arrival instructions, just basic life support instructions to help them as they wait for the ambulance, as well as to reassure them so that they don't panic. Your Excellency, there's a live caller now. We'll usher you kindly take a seat so that we can show you exactly how we dispatch an ambulance.
Afternoon, Mr. President. So my name is Stanley Karoga, and I will be taking you through the dispatch system. Ideally, just as my colleague has reported here, this is the platform on which we will be dispatching the ambulances, from caller information, where we receive the call, to the dispatching of the ambulance. So we do have a call right now. So So ideally, I will hand over to you to start the call. You'll just note that 922. What's your emergency? The first question on our tab will be.
What's your name?
Yes.
Your Excellency. So, Your Excellency, now you're a dispatcher today. You've asked the first question.
Okay, Your Excellency, you're a dispatcher today.
Okay.
You can ask the first question.
Hello, how are you? Hello? This is 922, the emergency center. What's your emergency, please? Hello?
Hello, are you getting me?
Yes. This is 922, emergency center. What's your emergency?
Yes, Lamek, napiga simu kutoka Suswa.
Ndio.
Hapa barabara ya kuu ya kuingia Narok.
Jina lako ni nani?
Jina langu ni Lamek.
Lamek. Habari Lamek?
Yes, mzuri sana. Kuna ajali ambayo imepatikana hapa Suswa.
Ndio.
Yes, kuna mtu amegongwa na gari.
Ndio.
Ambaye alikuwa anapita kwa njia, na ni mtu mmoja.
Ndio.
Na ninaona ni kama amepoteza ufahamu, ako unconscious. Na anakuta damu sana.
Wewe ni na mgonjwa.
Sehemu ya mguu.
Wewe
kama mguu yake imepunjika.
Wewe uko na uhusiano gani na huyo mgonjwa? Unamjua huyo mgonjwa?
Mimi ni mpita njia, simjui kwa sababu nimemwona tu amepigwa, piga hii namba.
Ndio. Ni wa umri gani? Ni wa umri gani huyo mgonjwa?
Tuseme ni umri wa makamo.
Ndio.
Yes.
Ni wa kiume ama ni wa kike?
Ni mwanamume.
Mwanamume, eh?
Yes. Ni kama kuna maumivu mengine, ni kama amepoteza ufahamu na hapumui vizuri.
Okay.
Tafadhali mtatusaidia namna gani?
Ngojea.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So
Okay.
now you're actually having information on the patient. You're told he's unconscious. You're told he's bleeding. You're told he's not breathing well. So this is being clocked in the system to identify the P1, P2, 3, P4 status
Okay.
of the patient, Your Excellency.
So Mr. Lamek,
Some ambulance.
Mr. Lamek, Mr. Lamek, unanisikia?
Nakupata?
Okay, ndio natuma ambulance, nakutumia ambulance sasa hivi. Nakutumia ambulance sasa hivi. Umeniambia mgonjwa hana fahamu sahi, kweli? Amepoteza fahamu?
Sikupati vizuri tafadhali.
Na kuuliza je, umesema mgonjwa amepoteza fahamu kwa sasa?
Yes, anavuja damu.
Aha.
Ameumia mguu.
Okay.
Mguu ni kama imevunjika. Unajua ni kugongwa, amegongwa na gari.
Kweli. Okay.
Na gari imepotea.
Okay, asante. Nakutumia ambulance sasa hivi. Na umeniambia uko pande gani ya nchi?
Nakwambia?
Uko pande gani ya nchi?
Suswa.
Karibu ni mahali gani tunaweza panajulikana karibu na wewe?
Karibu na Suswa market.
Aha.
Lakini sana unaona njia ya kuingia Narok kuna njia nyingine inaingia Ngong. Hapo karibu hapo, hiyo ya kuingia Ngong na ingine ya kuingia Nairobi, ingine ya kwenda na Narok.
Okay, sawa. Ambulance inakuja sasa hivi. All right.
So Your Excellency, a dispatch has now been done. You can see in the map from the point of the call all the way to where the ambulance needs to get to in Suswa.
This is where the ambulance
Yes,
is?
and it's heading to the man. Yes.
Yes.
Much like the way Uber operates.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. President, probably you can submit our first incidents.
Okay. How
Yes.
do I do that?
Just click on submit.
Okay.
Let's see. Should be fine.
There you go. Incident created and dispatched. In 19 minutes, the ambulance will be there.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Mweleze basi.
Right.
Lamek. Ama
Amekata simu?
bado hapo.
So, Mr. Lamek? Mr. Lamek?
Lamek.
Hello, yes.
Okay, ambulance, ngoja ambulance inakuja within 19 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
You can even tell him it's KDQ
Sasa
586L.
shida ni kwamba huyu mtu ako kwa barabara
Okay.
na kuna askari hapa amefika.
Sasa kitu ambacho
naona kuna road askari lakini hawako sahihi. Fanya yake ndio atoke kwa barabara.
Haya, sasa
Kwa sababu nimekwambia amevunjika mguu.
kitu ambacho utafanya, natuma ambulance as soon as possible.
Okay.
Weka mgonjwa hapo.
Sawa, dakika kama ngapi?
Dakika kama 20 hivi. Asante.
20?
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I am well. I'm Dr. Mboke Joseph. I'm the medical lead in this National Ambulance Dispatch Center, and I will take you through what we call ambulance point of care system. So what happens is that upon dispatch of ambulance from our center here, and the information is sent in the system over there, and ambulance selected, that information now goes to the ambulance wherever the ambulance is stationed. So through this system, we know ambulance is a moving hospital. And in this system, the crew will be able to access it. It is the form of an app in a tablet or in a phone where they can be able to actually access, then accept the dispatch. Once they accept the dispatch, they can be able to open the clinical information that was fed from the dispatch center to know how the patient looked and what it is. They're able to know the location of the patient, and they're able to know the assigned nearest hospital. So then they will now proceed using that location where the patient is and pick the patient, continue providing medical care that is first aid, as they are actually en route to the hospital. So this system allows the ambulance crew to be able to give clinical data in terms of what they have found. You know, what is reported and what is found on the ground might be different. So they're able to populate that in terms of vital signs and the clinical information in terms of what they have found in examination. They'll also be able to document in terms of the care that they have given while they're en route. So once this happens as en route, finally when they get to the destination facility that was assigned, they'll be able to initiate a handover. So that initiating a handover happens where they will be able to enter the details of the healthcare worker in that facility that's receiving. Then an OTP will be generated, which again will confirm that for sure this patient has been received on the other end. Then once that happens, then now the hospital will take over. I will then hand over to the CEO to take you through before we hand over the hospital.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. My name is Nancy Gachoki. I am a nurse, a trauma and emergency nurse at the International Trauma Center at Kenyatta National Hospital. I have the honor to receive you in our hospital this afternoon. Karibu sana. Now, when an ambulance comes at the International Trauma Center of Kenyatta National Hospital, our experienced multidisciplinary team will receive the patient, will assess, triage the patient, then receive the patient. After receiving the patient, what normally happens, we place the patient based on the injuries, the extent of the injuries. If it is an airway compromise, like the person, the caller who was calling, reporting that the patient is not breathing very well, then once we get that information relayed to us by Dr. Boke here and the ambulance crew, then we are able to prepare the medical equipment that will support that patient when he or she arrives at Kenyatta National Hospital. So after we receive the patient, we place the patient in the rooms, and then after that, we will accept that we have received the patient in the system. We are accepting that we have received the patient. Once we do that, we are already acknowledging and accepting the clinical journey for this patient in providing emergency care in our hospital, and at the same time for 24 hours. Thank you, Your Excellency. And now I want to take you now to back to our CEO, so that, yes. Mm-hmm.
For those dispatches, and Kenyans will be able to access EMS services. Thank you, Your Excellency. Now we are moving on to SHA. You're now in the SHA.
At the moment,
yes.
Before this service,
yes.
How are they being handled?
Before this service, Your Excellency, Kenyans had to pay cash through their bills to the ambulance operators to be able to get that service. And this has been a complaint amongst the citizens, and so this is a very big milestone for the country. Through SHA, we will take care of that service for them. Now, Your Excellency, on that screen, you're now in the SHA office, and you're a claims officer. Dr. Connie is a claims officer at SHA. She's a doctor, again, a medical doctor, and she'll take us through how she reviews this claim at SHA.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, my name is Dr. Connie Njuguna. I'm a Senior Claims Management Officer here at the Social Health Authority. I will demonstrate how emergency claims are generated, processed, and then finalized for payment. So, Your Excellency, just from the hospital, once the receiving facility accepts the patient, two things happen. The patient file is updated and the ambulance claim is closed. So this closed claim is then automatically submitted to the claims management system, which is integrated into this. Once it appears, this is how it will show up on our screen. As you can see, we can appreciate key claim details here. For example, the SHA benefit code, SHA-01, which is the accident and emergency package. We can also appreciate the ambulance provider details, the patient details, the dates the claim was created, as well as the claim amount. So this gives the reviewer at least all the information you need for an initial assessment of the claim. Then next, we go on to open the claim. Once we open the claim, we enter now the adjudication phase. So, Your Excellency, here the distance traveled is what advises or determines the reimbursement rate for the ambulance. So the system is able to automatically calculate this distance using the GPS that is enabled, and then it will determine the corresponding claim amount. For example, in this particular claim, we can appreciate that this ambulance traveled a distance within the first 25 kilometers for a reimbursement of 4,500. So these are some of the checks we look at. Coming down again, we also have to check other validations to ensure that this claim is accurate, it is genuine, so that this ensures that there is efficiency also as we're processing these claims, reimbursements is done accurately, as well as there's a whole transparency that happens within the claims processing journey. At the same time, we are also looking to safeguard public resources. Once the claim has passed these tests, we come and approve the claim, and we'll submit it for payment processing. Once it is submitted, it is automatically sent to processing. This ensures timely reimbursements to the ambulance providers. Thank you, Excellency.
That is the SHA office. Now, Your Excellency, we move regionally. What you've seen was happening in Ruto. We want to show you what is happening in different parts of the country. So, Your Excellency, if you come in here, these are screens. All these screens are able to show us what is happening across the country. We'll start by the first incident right there. As you can see, Your Excellency.
Inatoka kwa mapua na huku kwa kisogo kuna pia alama ya kuumia sana. Damu ni mingi yake, anasikia uchungu kwa kifua. Hata ameshika kifua. Mnatuma ambulance. Saa ngapi yake? Kama anaumia. Haya sawa, asante.
So, Your Excellency, that's a dispatch. The ambulance comes into the construction site. It assesses the condition. The passenger is then loaded into the ambulance and taken to the nearest health center. Your Excellency, we want to demonstrate to Kenyans that any kind of emergency, these dispatchers will determine what that emergency is. They'll give a priority to it, and we'll send the right kind of ambulance to do the dispatch. That is one scenario of a construction worker. We'll get into the second scenario, Your Excellency.
When we talk about emergencies, we talk emergencies coming from different angles. Emergencies coming from different regions within Lamu County. We have the mainland, we have the islands, we have the Boni Forest, we have traumas, RTS, marine, and the rest. And we would like to thank His Excellency, the President, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto.
Your Excellency, will now go to the third simulation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Splenda Isigi. I'm a supervisor here at the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. What you're displaying on the screen is a projection of different parts of the country where ambulances have been dispatched from right here. And we are able to see and track, as a supervisor, I'm able to see and track the movement from the map, and we also have reports on the end-to-end process. Thank you, Your Excellency.
supervisors sit here while the dispatchers sit there. So as the call is being dispatched, you may end up finding a dispatcher has a certain charge. And so the supervisor can kick in and they're monitoring what is happening across the country. So you can see there, she's looking at what's happening in Kapenguria. Here, they're in Meru and across the whole country. Now, Your Excellency, we're about to come to the end of the tour, but I'd want you to look up. We won't take you up the stairs, but right there, Your Excellency, is another training room that we have here. Now, this is quite important because a dispatch is not just a phone call. If a child is choking, you actually do not reach for the phone particularly to find an ambulance, but you perform life-saving maneuvers to remove the choking incident. And so at the top there, you can see our trainers from Red Cross are training our dispatchers on how to be able to provide education to the Kenyan and say, this is what you do. You need to do chest pumps, you need to do this, you need to remove the bean or the piece of meat from the mouth, and that is essentially a training room that we utilize, and trainers, the dispatchers must go through regular routine training. Now, Your Excellency, at the end of every shift, we must have a dashboard that tells us how the day went, how many incidences we did, what were the outcomes of those incidences, did we dispatch on time? And so Director Golda here actually deals with all claims at SHA. She's an actuarist and deals with all the claims that we processed since the beginning of SHA, close to 174 billion. She will take us through the dashboard of what she looks at the end of every day.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. My name is Golda Elakolo. I'm the Director, Benefits and Claims Management at the Social Health Authority. So for the National Ambulance Dispatch Center, what we are looking at is leveraging on automation and technology to make data-driven decisions. So once we have created a trend over time, we should be able to look at, for example, the optimal number of ambulances that we require and the type of ambulances, be it the basic life support or the advanced life support. We should also be able to determine the strategic positioning of ambulances at areas where they are required. But that can only come when we have developed a dashboard where we are able to get insights from. In addition, just coming from the Claims Management Office, we will be able to determine the benefit utilization in addition to the number of claims that we expect to actually be lodged. So with that in mind, we created this dashboard, which gives an overview of everything that you have seen in this dispatch center. So at a glance, we are able to make decisions. For example, currently we have 153 ambulances that are contracted, and this number is bound to increase because contracting is an ongoing process. We have received up to date 137 incidences, and out of these incidences, currently 3 are in dispatch, and Your Excellency, you'll see that the ambulance that you dispatched, we are able to track it. Now, we put ambulances on hold, especially in cases where we require to speak to the ambulance crew and figure out how to assist them. One of the cases we had here is in industrial area where we were evacuating a patient who was violent. So we needed to speak to the ambulance team, stand them down until we got police to come and assist in the evacuation. In total, Your Excellency, we have successfully evacuated 134 Kenyans to points of care. Your Excellency, this has been spoken about where we are talking about the different levels of incidents. So we are able to see the total number of incidences at 130, but we classify them based on their priority 1, which is critical. We have had 97 instances of this, and we are able to dispatch the advanced life support ambulances to these cases where we have examples of cardiac arrest. We have had 28 serious incidents, Your Excellency, and in this case, depending on the symptoms that we are recognizing, we are able to dispatch either the advanced life support ambulances or the basic life support ambulances. We have to consider the fact that there are Kenyans who will call us for incidents that do not require necessarily an ambulance to be dispatched, but we are able to offer them basic medical advice so that they can be able to manage their symptoms.
So, Your Excellency, we have one last live dispatch from Garissa. So if you look at this screen, we'll be able to show you the Garissa incident. And Lamu, yes, right on the screen. So these are live dispatches that were taking place, and we were able, these were simulations. So in Lamu, just what you saw there, all the way from Suswa, what we saw in the construction site in Kisumu, we'll be able to show you. Camera? Yes. So again, this is a dispatch in Lamu.
There is a real life.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Yeah, there is a real life situation.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me on the other side?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. My name is Iftikhar Majid.
Okay, how are you, my friend?
Emergency Operations Center, Manager, Lamu County Government.
Very good. What is going on there, my friend? Can you explain to us what's going on there?
We have just finished a referral coming from the mainland side.
Yes.
To King Fahad, that is Lamu County Referral Hospital. And with Lamu County, it is a very unique county with its unique archipelago, and we also have our own unique challenges. And the challenges are mainly, it's like we cover over 60,000 kilometers square of water body, and we also have the islands, we have the mainland, and we, under the stewardship, Your Excellency Isa Abdallah Timami, we have been working together with different agencies under the Emergency Operations Center, which is a multi-agency. It is something that we have been having for over 2 years now. We are very glad that at least this system has come up, the 922 short code free to call number to the citizens, not just in Lamu but nationwide. It is a privilege that every Kenyan will be able to have this opportunity ya kupata hizi afya mashinani, afya emergency medical services ambazo kwamba zitaweza kusaidia watu kwa kila njia. In Lamu, being very unique, we have waterboat ambulances, as you can see behind me. We have 2 actually right now, but it is something that with over 6,000 kilometers square, which cannot really serve all over the county. As the county, we are trying to get another one, and if we can also get support from you, Your Excellency, at least another advance boat ambulance that can help people of Lamu. And also behind me, as you can see, we have the staircase jetty, whereby sometimes it becomes a challenge, just like now when we have low tides, it becomes very slippery. If we can have also a floating jetty or a floating bridge, whereby the bridge will always rise according to the water level and the tides as well.
Thank you so much for
maybe
that.
Another challenge, Your Excellency, that we also like to
Now,
address.
we will be able to come back to you on the challenges that you have. Now, Your Excellency, we'll walk right through this way.
Yes.
And Your Excellency, I just want you to stand here and then just take the room in, because you've walked through the room and maybe you haven't had an appreciation of the dispatch center. This is quite big, with many screens and with our dispatchers, Your Excellency. Thank you. Now, Your Excellency, we'll take you to tour an ambulance and see what an ambulance looks like inside. This way, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, like we said,
We're running short of time.
we're going to hurry it up. Your Excellency, like we mentioned, you have different kinds of ambulances. This is an advanced ambulance, and the team here will be able to quickly take you through, within 1 minute, what the key components of the ambulance are.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Good afternoon and welcome to our Advanced Life Support Ambulance. Essentially a mobile critical care unit equivalent to a level 6 facility. So the call that you actually received and dispatched, that patient is a perfect candidate for this ambulance. We have equipment that can help support him breathe if he's unable to breathe by himself. That's the ventilator that you see in the red bag. We can support circulation if he's bleeding very heavily. There's fluids we can give. We can arrest the bleeding. We can splint fractures and then load him safely and strap him in and move him to the facility. So this is the ALS ambulance. Thank you very much.
Now, Your Excellency, will request you to kindly flag off the ambulances as you launch the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. Right this way, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, at the count of 3, 2, 1, flag off. the ambulances. The first one goes to Nairobi County. Your Excellency, at the count of 3, 2, 1, Wajir County. Your Excellency, 3, 2, 1, Turkana County. The other one, Your Excellency, is a faith-based ambulance, followed by Lamu County, followed by Mandera County, followed by Nyeri County, then Kapenguria County. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We request you now to proceed to the next venue. Welcome, Your Excellency.
All rise. His Excellency the President, why don't we welcome him with a warm clap? From here, I'll request that we remain standing as we start with a prayer from Daima Lee and Susan Kafuto. Maombi tafadhali.
Let us pray. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with a humble and grateful heart. We thank you for the gift of life, for your unfailing love, and for the peace and unity you continue to give the Republic of Kenya. Launch. We ask for your President. Country Kenya. Father, we dedicate this National Ambulance Dispatch Center into your able hands. Strengthen our healthcare system coverage so that every Kenyan, regardless of affordable quality and timely.
Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Honorable Aden Duale, Cabinet Secretary for Health, all Principal Secretaries present, Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi, Chair COG and Governor of Wajir County, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, Governor Nairobi County, all governors present, and I see we have quite a number of governors here today. Your Excellency, ambassadors led by Dean of Diplomatic Corps, His Excellency Beyene Rusom, Dr. Masi Mwangangi, CEO Social Health Authority, SHA, Mr. Ahmed Idris, Secretary General Red Cross, chairs and CEOs from other partnering institutions present, all development partners, academia, medical associations, ambulance providers, border associations, Matatu SACCOs represented. Your Excellency, to start us off on this momentous, auspicious occasion, allow me to invite Dr. Masi Mwangangi, who is the CEO for SHA, to make some welcoming and opening remarks. Tumkaribishe kwa makofi tafadhali. Dr. Mwangangi, karibu.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Minister of Health, Honorable Aden Duale, Cabinet Secretaries present, Governors present, Principal Secretaries, IG, Ambassadors present, Members of Parliament, all dignitaries, guests, good afternoon. Your Excellency, only 9% of the African continent has access to emergency care services. Your Excellency, that means 9% of 1.5 billion Africans have access to emergency medical care services. And Your Excellency, the reason to this is because historically, African health systems have focused on treating communicable diseases, but the tide has changed, Your Excellency. We are now faced with a double burden of disease, communicable and non-communicable diseases, and most emergencies fall under both classifications. Your Excellency, today Kenya serves as a model for Africa. This will be the second dispatch center, Your Excellency, and this has only been made possible through your administration and through the investments that your government has put in emergency medical services. Your Excellency, Kenya should be proud. You should be proud. We are rolling out the universal access to emergency medical services. Your Excellency, as I conclude, SHA, together under the guidance and stewardship of the Ministry of Health, will now focus on 4 key pillars that will ensure these EMS services are sustainable. The first one is governance. We've been able to set in place governance mechanisms. As you've seen, ambulances are checked. We ensure that these ambulances are safe and they'll be able to do what they need to do to rescue Kenyans. The second one, Your Excellency, is financing. Your Excellency, your government has provided adequate budget to be able to actually conduct and pay for the dispatches, as well as pay for the first 24 hours of care. Your Excellency, the third pillar is training. As you saw, we are setting up a worldwide emergency training center, and EMTs will be able to receive training services there. The last one, Your Excellency, is communication and data-driven decision-making. From the center you've seen, we will be able to make decisions on when a dispatch is due, the number of life-threatening conditions we have in the country, the number of ambulances we need, the budget requirements that we require. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I want to conclude with a sad story. On the 8th of March this year, Your Excellency, you and I actually spoke at around 7 p.m. And when we were speaking, I told you I had just left a first responder accident in Kisumu. A matatu, a tuk-tuk, 4 dead, 15 casualties. I went in there as a doctor because I was on the road. When we were there trying to take care of those casualties, there's a lady who was in a pink dress and her leg was broken, but unfortunately her rib had pierced her lung. And so I could tell as a doctor that she has what we call pneumothorax. Your Excellency, as the CEO of SHA, I did not know what number to call. All I knew to do was to prevent the bleeding and try and stabilize the lady in the pink dress. Unfortunately, on Monday, when I went back to the office and reached out to Dr. Ganda in Kisumu, he informed me the lady in the pink dress had died. Your Excellency, what you're doing today is monumental. It is a milestone. You should be proud. Kenyans should be proud. We now have started the journey on ensuring we all have access to emergency medical services. And Your Excellency, unfortunately, the lucky ones in this room will die in their sleep. Those are the lucky ones. The unlucky ones are more of us. We will die through an emergency. And so we have to invest in emergency medical services to ensure that lives can be saved. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Dr. Masi. Next, Your Excellency, allow me to invite the Governor Nairobi County, who will speak briefly and also represent the other governors present. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali akija. Karibu, Governor.
Thank you very much, Mike. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Cabinet Secretary, Adan Duale, fellow governors, members of parliament, distinguished guests. I'm told there's a whole mix of different stakeholders. I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome you to Nairobi. Karibuni sana. It's my honor, Your Excellency, to join you today for the launch of the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. It's a landmark milestone in Kenya's journey towards a faster, smarter, and more integrated emergency medical system. Your Excellency, allow me to begin by congratulating you for your bold leadership in transforming healthcare in our country. This is just one more thing that you've done. From the establishment of the Social Health Authority, to strengthening primary health care, to championing emergency medical services and making every woman everywhere, every newborn everywhere, a national priority, your administration has demonstrated that healthcare is not merely a social service, it is a national investment in Kenya's future. Nairobi County is proud to work with you in this journey. As a capital city, we bear a special responsibility. Every day, our hospitals in Nairobi serve not only the people of Nairobi, but thousands of Kenyans referred from neighboring counties and from across the country. The strength of our emergency response system, therefore, has implications beyond the borders of Nairobi. That is why we made it deliberate to invest heavily in emergency medical services. Long before today's launch, Your Excellency, Nairobi established our Nairobi Emergency Operations Center, EOC, which has been in operation for the last 5 years and coordinates emergency response across the city through our toll-free number 15 1508. So Mercy, you'd have called that number, 1508. But now you have 922. Today, the center coordinates, Your Excellency, 18 basic and advanced life support ambulances, and I'm very proud that in the next 2 weeks I'm adding another 20 advanced life support ambulances in Nairobi through a lease model of procurement. I don't have to buy them. We're leasing a whole number of equipment, including fire engines, that I would want, as this process goes on, for the fire engines also to be integrated into this system for the emergencies that we respond to. We link patients with the right facility at the right time. Your Excellency, every minute saved is a life saved. Over the last 4 months alone, my center has coordinated 4,573 emergency alerts and referrals, averaging 38 emergencies every day, while achieving a remarkable 98% response rate with an average response time of 18 minutes, which is a bit high. Our fire brigade does 10 minutes, actually 8 minutes. So I think with this system now, we'll be able to be faster because of the geolocating and the GPS, Your Excellency. These are not just statistics. They represent mothers who reach hospital safely, children whose lives were saved, road traffic victims who received timely care, families who were given hope because help arrived where it mattered the most. Your Excellency, the launch of this center could not have come at a more important time because emergency medical services are one of the strongest foundations of universal health coverage, because quality health care is one only meaningful if patients can reach it on time. Your Excellency, I will not go throughout the entire speech, but really from what we've seen as we came in, it is how creative we are with the system that you've put in place that will assist us. I was joking earlier with Mercy that I bought ambulances and she's added the paint on the ambulances. But beyond that, on top of Kongeza Rangi, we'll be receiving 4,500 per trip. Your Excellency, what we're going to do in Nairobi is we'll ring fence this money as an FIF. That the money paid to us for ambulance services will only be used in improving ambulance services, in buying the equipment that we require, in having, even as locum, some of these emergency health professionals that we require, because we require very many. Actually, the number Dr. Oluga was telling me is that we require 1,450 ambulances in Nairobi. So, Excellency, I'm grateful. I have my colleagues here. Congratulations for this milestone. The only similar center we had like this was at Red Cross. It's good to see that government now has it. Allow me to introduce my colleagues, and I think the best way would be for the chairman of the Council of Governors to introduce the other governors here. But we also have Senator Mandago, who is a governor. He's been a governor longer than he's been a senator, and is a chairman of health in the Senate. Please, let's clap for him. We thank you for the support that the Senate has been giving to us as we deliver these services. May God bless you all. Asanteni sana. Chairman.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, if you'll just allow me to introduce the governors who are here. Governor of Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, was up here. We have also our Chair of Health Committee at Council, Governor Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir, His Excellency Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir. We have His Excellency Isa Abdallah Timami, Governor of Lamu County. And we also have Governor Eric Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Eric was here. Your Excellency, for those that don't know me, I'm Ahmed Abdullahi, Governor of Wajir, Chair of Council. Your Excellency, it's indeed a distinct privilege on behalf of the Council and the 47 county governments to join you today for the launch of the National SHA Ambulance Dispatch Center, which is indeed a significant milestone in our journey towards building a responsive, integrated, and people-centered emergency care center. And we all understand the importance of emergency medical service and how it is indeed a cornerstone to a resilient health system. And many Kenyans, especially those in the rural areas, Your Excellency, are indeed underserved, and this is why this step is very, very important and critical. Your Excellency, across the 47 counties, county governments have collectively invested in 586 ambulances to strengthen emergency medical services. As of today, Your Excellency, 339 of those ambulances have been inspected by SHA, and 300 have so far been registered. I'm sure a lot more will pass the test of registration for this emergency service. Beyond ambulances, county governments, Your Excellency, in collaboration with development partners, have also made significant investments in emergency medical systems, including county-level dispatch centers, emergency communication platforms, skilled emergency personnel, and operational coordination structures. The launch of this SHA National Ambulance Coordination Center will therefore present a timely opportunity to build on these county investments by creating a more integrated, efficient, and interoperable national emergency centers. Your Excellency, as to how to better coordinate and ensure that the public health system in the counties efficiently integrates with the National Emergency Center are technical issues that have been under discussion for long, and I will not belabor them. Your Excellency, as has been said by my colleague, Governor Sakaja, who was here before me, indeed, as county governors, we appreciate the effort that your administration has put into healthcare. And you know, Your Excellency, at times as governors, we may disappoint you when we asked a leading question at the Senate as to whether SHA is working, and you see the balance that you have of claim that you are to receive from Mercy. But I want to tell you, anyone saying that SHA is not working or that the health system is not better today than it was 4 years ago is lying blatantly. It is a lie. That it has improved in every which sense, from the legal perspective, from equipment, from a better supply of medical services. Saying it has improved is an understatement. The change has been phenomenal, Your Excellency. And I'll give you an example. We may complain that at times some of our claims are rejected. We may complain that, you know, the money delays at times. But that money we're asking for has not taken away from the equitable share that we were given for health. This is money that we are getting because the people in our counties registered for an insurance. So it's additional resources. And under FIF, Facility Improvement Fund, those are resources that are now expendable at the facility level. In fact, much as we have some complaints here and there about more money, because everyone wants more money, Your Excellency, at times we also have problems with our own facilities because they have so much money now and they think it's their money, not the government's money. And you start seeing people prioritizing pavements and things like that. So we also have another quarrel with our own staff. So, Your Excellency, do not be discouraged by what naysayers will say out there. It is the work of the opposition to oppose, and there's no criteria of reasonableness of opposition. People can say anything they want, and oppose anything they want in the manner they want. But I want to tell you that, Your Excellency, from NESP, and I was a bit hard on my brother there in the waiting room, saying Nairobi and Kiambu were the last to uptake it. And he's now fully on board, and he told me he got a better deal than us, so it's probably a better negotiator. From the establishment of SHA and the registration of millions of Kenyans, from the launch of universal health coverage under Taifa Care, which gives free services at that level, from strengthening of community health through CHPs, which we are co-investing as county governments, the recruitment of more healthcare workers, the upgrading and expanding of hospitals, the improvement under DHA, digitization of services, the improvements that your government has made in essential medical drugs, essential drugs under KEMSA, which has taken the fill rate from as low as 30-40% to almost 90% by the last time I checked. From NESP, that gives equipment to the most peripheral of places. Your Excellency, you have done what you promised to do, and we appreciate it as governors. And as I say this, some of us are now serving our 10th year and have also worked in the healthcare sector under previous regimes. So I know what I'm talking about. I want to thank you and congratulate you. As for individual case issues and claims, I want to ask my colleagues governors from today never to say that SHA is not working. If you have an issue, deal with that issue specifically. If there's a claim ambayo imekwama, deal with that claim. Lakini tusiseme SHA is not working. As chair of COG, I am saying SHA is working. Asanteni, Mungu awabariki.
Another round of applause for COG Chair. Thank you. Thank you very much, COG Chair. And now, Your Excellency, we have a number of PSs. Allow me to invite PS Oluga to recognize his colleagues and then invite the Minister. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, Excellency Governors, Your Excellency, we have already said so much about what you've done to implement a comprehensive and connected healthcare ecosystem that ensures that no Kenyan dies from preventable causes, but also that no Kenyan suffers financial ruin while seeking care, and especially today, emergency care. Your Excellency, we are very privileged because today, what we have done is very validating to health professionals. We were taught in school 3 numbers, the issues around stroke, the issues around heart, and all of them are in minutes. And today, you have validated healthcare workers because the knowledge that they have had, they have never put it into practice. Your Excellency, with those very many remarks, let me recognize Principal Secretaries present, Madam Mary Mudhoni, Principal Secretary, Public Health and Professional Standards. We have also worked very closely with Tanui Engineer, who is the Principal Secretary for ICT. Your Excellency, we have the Board of Directors of SHA, chaired by Abdi, and also the other board directors, including the Director General, Dr. Amoth, and the other board directors who are here, including COG. Your Excellency, we have the chair of the Committee of Health, Honorable Dr. James Nikal. He can just stand up. And we also have the chair who was already recognized for health, Honorable Mandago, who is also here with us. Your Excellency, we have a number of bank CEOs, KCB, ABSA, DTB, who we've worked with. Your Excellency, we have the CEO of AMREF, who is also here with us. We have the Emergency Medical Foundation. We have a number of private partners that we've worked with to ensure that resources are available, but also that ambulances are available. With those very many remarks, I want to invite Honorable Aden Duale to make his remarks and invite you, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief, the Council of Governors, the board and directors of both SHA and DHA. Your Excellency, today I think I am a very happy person because of the many assignments you have given me and the many funds that were established by law through our colleagues in Parliament. We are operationalizing the last fund. The primary health care fund is up and running. The social health insurance fund is up and running. The PMSF fund is up and running. And today the ECCIF is up and running. But Your Excellency, allow me to begin with a matter of geography. I come from Garissa, and in my county, and in those that neighbor Garissa, Wajir, Tana River, Marsabit, Isiolo, the word nearby does not mean what it means here in Nairobi. A family may be 3 or 4 hours from a hospital on a good day, but not on a rainy day where the roads are impassable. And I come to that because when this ministry speaks about ambulances, I am not reading from a policy paper. I am describing a very arithmetic of my own people and the millions of Kenyans who live where distance itself sometimes becomes a disease. Your Excellency, also allow me, because I spent many years, some with you, in the National Assembly, and even as a leader of majority, and passed many bills. But if those years taught me anything, it is this, that passing a law is the easy part. We passed the social health insurance, we passed the, I'm sure my colleagues passed all those 4 great laws. But if you look at Article 43 of our Constitution, Your Excellency, provides the right to health for all Kenyans, while Article 7 of the Health Act of 2017 provides the right to emergency treatment. Where am I going? I'm going where I'm saying that a statute can be gazetted in a single afternoon. A law can be assented to in one morning by the President. But turning into something an ordinary citizen can actually benefit from that sometimes takes many years. And it takes a head of state, sometimes who refuses to lose interest once the cameras have moved. And it has taken nearly many, many years for us to reach where we are here today. Your Excellency, when we talk among ourselves and among our peers in the region on the health transformation and reforms that you have introduced in our country the last 4 years, from the Social Health Authority, which is today at 32.2 million registered members, from the claims that we have paid, and Your Excellency, our governors know it, that today the own source of revenue in our counties, the highest, between 67 to about 75%, depending on which county. A county like Mombasa must be getting more, and I really want to thank, because the governor of Mombasa has clocked 80% registration, and he still maintains the first position. From the next program, Your Excellency, today many Kenyans in the regions can access a CT scan, a mammograph, a complete theater, lab systems which are working, to the reform that you have introduced in the health commodity and technologies. Today, I can confirm and agree with the chair of the council that every item you ask KEMSA to deliver, every 10 items, they can deliver 9. And they are working very well with our county governments. Today, Your Excellency, healthcare workforce is very critical to the transformation that you have done. Today, you don't see any disputes. No more. You have sorted out, you have helped us to sort out the internship issue. We have sorted out all the CBAs with our doctors and nurses. You have allowed us to recruit 5,000 new nurses and midwives to make sure that we reduce as a country, our maternal and newborn mortality rates. And Your Excellency, we are about to finish with the Council of Governors, we are about to finish the study we undertook. And you'll be very happy, man, because we might be having below 200 in terms of maternal mortality rates. That the data we are using is the data of 2019. And many of the partners, Your Excellency, will agree with us. Your Excellency, finally, the Social Health Authority, the Digital Health Agency, and our county governments are ready. This center is live. The number is working. What remains is for you to hand it over today to the people of Kenya, Your Excellency. And Your Excellency, before I finish here, we have CEOs of our private health facilities, our level 6. We have CEOs of our faith-based health facilities. We have CEOs from our county government health facilities. We have our team from the diplomatic community, Your Excellency, because this is history today we're making. This is one of your signature within the healthcare ecosystem. And I am sure the naysayers, Your Excellency, if they say SHA is not working, then why have we paid 170 billion in the last 18 months? Nairobi County is the biggest recipient in the primary healthcare fund. Your Excellency, today you are finishing the journey, you are finishing the circle, and members of parliament here will agree with me. The many questions that used to come to parliament, Your Excellency, was that the Kenyan will be picked by an ambulance. He's taken to a hospital and the hospital will ask for a deposit. Maybe they don't have that deposit, that amount of money. Then they go to the next hospital. Then they go to the next hospital. In the end, that patient dies inside the ambulance, or even there's no ambulance to pick him. Today you are making history by making sure that emergency care, as provided for in the Constitution, is going to be actualized. So it's therefore my single honor, Your Excellency, and we really want to thank you because when we call you to showcase the reforms that you have delivered, you always create time. So we don't want to, your presence, we don't want to take it for granted. We really want to thank you, all of us who work within the healthcare system, both national and county. Therefore, it's my singular honor, and I ask everybody to stand up as I invite His Excellency the President to address us and to officially launch the SHA 922 Lifeline and the National Ambulance Dispatch Center.
Thank you very much, Aden. Please, let's take our seats. Asanteni sana. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Article 43(2) of our Constitution, the supreme law of the Republic of Kenya, makes a clear and unequivocal declaration. A person shall not be denied emergency medical treatment. In just 9 words, our Constitution affirms the value of every Kenyan life and establishes an obligation that binds every government, every health institution, and every health provider. Yes, too many Kenyans, and for too many of them, this constitutional guarantee has remained beyond reach. In the critical moment when a mother develops complications during childbirth, a child is injured in school, a rider is knocked down on the highway, or a father suddenly feels a tightening in their chest, families have often been left to fend for themselves. In a medical emergency, every minute matters. Doctors call the first 60 minutes the golden hour because what happens during the brief window can determine whether a patient lives, recovers fully, or suffers permanent injury or even death. For too long, the fate of a Kenyan facing an emergency has depended on three things: the money in their pocket, where they happen to live, and who they happen to know. That is not the equality promised or the guarantee given or envisaged by the Constitution. It is playing a lottery on human life. Today, we change that, and we change it permanently. We are turning a constitutional guarantee into a service that every Kenyan can reach throughout the launch and through the launch of the SHA 922 Lifeline and the National Ambulance Dispatch Center. From today, Kenya has one national medical emergency number, 922. I remember when we discussed this subject with my good people at the Ministry of Health and at the Social Health Authority. And we had to negotiate with the IG. I remember calling Douglas there and asking him between 911 and 922, which one are you surrendering? And he told me, let me think about it. I will come back to you, Mr. President. Today, this is more than an emergency telephone number. It is a national lifeline. It connects a citizen in distress to emergency medical assistance, an available ambulance, an appropriate health facility, and the public financing required to pay for that intervention. When you call 922, the call will be free on every network, and it will be accessible whether you have airtime on your phone or not. A trained emergency dispatcher will answer, establish a location, and assess the emergency. The dispatcher will remain on the line, provide immediate assistance, and identify the nearest available ambulance. Through the National Digital Health System, the dispatcher will also identify the nearest facility capable of treating the patient's specific condition. The objective is not simply to take the patient to the closest hospital, but to take them to the facility best suited to save their lives. Ambulance evacuation and the first 24 hours of emergency treatment will be paid for through the emergency, chronic, and critical illness funds at the approved tariffs. This protection applies whether the patient is registered with SHA or not, and whether or not they have paid for SHA. No deposit, no guarantee, no negotiation, no relatives running around looking for money. Everything will be taken care of. In an emergency, the first question must never be whether a patient can pay. The first duty is to save life. And this is not just mere government policy. It is a constitutional requirement. I therefore reiterate to every health facility contracted by SHA, no person requiring emergency medical treatment shall be denied, delayed, referred, or transferred because they cannot pay, because their cover cannot immediately be confirmed, or because a form is incomplete. They should be served. This is equally an essential national service anchored in the health reforms we have implemented since 2023. Today, I can face the nation and say 32.2 million Kenyans are registered with SHA. 8 million Kenyans have received treatment in the last 18 months, and 178.5 billion has been paid to hospitals, health centers, dispensaries, and other medical facilities. It would have taken the former NHIF possibly 6 years to pay what we have paid in 1.5 years. We have trained and deployed 107,000 community health promoters to take preventive and primary health care directly to households. The Primary Health Care Fund has so far paid 23.3 billion to more than 10,000 health facilities contracted by SHA, directing public resources to the dispensaries and health centers closest to the people. More than 50,000 Kenyans have received cancer care, while nearly 21,000 patients have received dialysis through the National Health System. The Emergency, Chronic, and Critical Illness Fund, financed entirely by the government, has received 8 billion shillings to protect Kenyans when every other safety and safety net runs out. The 922 Lifeline now brings these reforms together. And I'm very proud, by the way. I am very, very proud of what we have achieved in our health reform agenda. I remember sitting in my former office in Karen with many colleagues on this subject of health and discussing how we are going to deliver on this promise. And I also remember the journey we've gone through to get ourselves here. I remember the court cases, the difficulties in Parliament, the many conversations with our county governments, the discouragement from naysayers. But today, I'm very proud that we are launching the final leg of these health reforms. I want to congratulate my team at the Ministry of Health, from the Minister, the PSS, and my team at SHA, Mercy, Anthony, Abdi, the very good people there. And to also appreciate the partnership of the counties, the county governors. We've had long conversations on matters health. Today, together, all of us are proud about what we have achieved. And we can confidently tell the nation that matters health, as required of us by Section 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, that health is not a privilege for those who can afford, for those who have jobs, for those who have money, but health is a right of every citizen. We are making medical emergency a reality today, and I am very proud of this moment. I was looking forward. I remember I have called Waziri here many times. I have had to seek mercy many times. I looked for the gentleman of Red Cross, that good man. He tried to ask for some money for me. I refused. But I still told him, this must happen. He tried to tell me, can we waive some taxes? I told him, no. Please, let's pay taxes, all of us. And I'm very happy that this moment has come. It's a very, very proud moment, because progressively, this is just the beginning. The call, the dispatch of ambulance, the admission of the patient, the treatment provided, and the payment made will form one coordinated digital process. I must thank Anthony and the team at the chair there and the team at DHA. They have been an incredible component of our delivery. It would not have happened if we had not gone ahead with technology. The sheer numbers, the body of information, the numbers and figures are mind-boggling. But because of technology, we have managed to do this together. The money will move through the system. It will not move through the patient's pockets. I acknowledge that this service will not succeed through the national institutions alone. Health is a devolved function, and ambulances are operated by county governments, faith-based organizations, the Red Cross Society of Kenya, the St. Ambulance, and private providers. The National Ambulance Dispatch Center does not take these ambulances away from their owners. It makes them easier to find, coordinate their deployment, and pay for every eligible journey undertaken. So I want to encourage more counties to find mechanisms of contracting more ambulance facilities. I hope we are going to work with St. John's and Red Cross to help them get a bigger pool of ambulances, so that finally we have the requisite numbers to make sure that no part of Kenya is too far for us to provide ambulance service for those in need. Coordination is not centralization. It is the difference between 47 separate systems and one public working together to save lives. Already, 1,243 ambulance and emergency service providers have been contracted by SHA. This is a very strong beginning, but it is not enough. I therefore direct SHA, working with the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors, to complete the onboarding of every eligible public, county, faith-based, and private ambulance operator by 30th December this year. This service must work for the pastoralists in Turkana, the farmer who is looking after his coffee in Nyeri, the fisherman in Homa Bay, the hustler in Nairobi, the family traveling on the Rironi Mausame Road or on the road to Mandera, or indeed anywhere in the Republic of Kenya. It must be dependable, responsive, and accountable. Every call must be answered. Every ambulance must be traceable. Every payment must be transparent. Every failure must be investigated and corrected. Today's launch may not resolve every weakness in an emergency healthcare system, but it establishes the foundation of a coordinated national service and imposes upon us the responsibility to improve it continuously. In 2010, we gave ourselves a constitution worthy of our aspirations. The responsibility of us and this generation is to build a public service system worthy of that constitution. Today, with the launch of 922, we take another decisive step towards that goal. Ladies and gentlemen, let me appreciate the many men and women working in different spaces, the drivers, the dispatch, people working at the dispatch center, the paramedics that will be involved in this, the people in hospital, the nurses, the doctors, and everybody who spend time, who deploy their energy, knowledge, effort in making sure that we keep our country safe. Some people ask me, why are numbers important? Why are you talking about the number of farmers we have registered? And we have registered 7.2 million farmers. They ask me, why am I talking about the number of people who are registered in SHA? And we have 32 million of them. And all the other numbers, the 300,000 houses we are building, the 600 markets, and the 180,000 spaces for our children in universities. Numbers are important because data is important. Science is important. When you do not have data, you operate on guesswork. And when you operate on guesswork, you are sure to fail. The reason why we haven't provided clear interventions in the past on matters agriculture is because we didn't have data. Today, we have data on our farmers. We know how many plant coffee, how many plant tea, how many are cattle keepers, how many are macadamia farmers. We know them. That is why we can dispute fertilizer and seeds on a voucher, because we know who we are dealing with. We've gotten rid of corruption. We've gotten rid of mischief. We have removed brokers because we are operating on the basis of data. Today, when I say we have 32.2 million people registered in SHA, it's because we have data. And that data is working miracles for us. In the past, it was a game of guesswork. Today, we know who we are paying. Today, we know what we are paying for. And that is the essence of accountability. And that is how we are going to transform our nation. Apart from health, Section 43 of the Constitution talks about education. It talks about agriculture and making sure that no Kenyan suffers the indignity of hunger. Talks about what will finally become the cost of living in our nation. That question we must answer. And that is why I have asked the people of Kenya that we must have a national conversation about our future, about the economic fortunes of our country and the development of this nation. You just heard Minister Duale here say, in some parts of Kenya, distance is a bigger danger than the disease you may suffer. We need to find how we can reduce that distance. And that is why we have started the journey to have clear interventions on matters infrastructure, on matters energy, on matters food security. That's why we have established the National Infrastructure Fund. And we need to work together to build a Kenya that all of us must be proud of. And I say this clearly understanding, as the leader in the nation today, what the potential of our nation is and what we can achieve and what we should and must and will achieve if we work together. So this is a very, very proud moment for me, and I have asked CS Duale and my good friend, Chair of Council of Governors, and all the partners we are working with, that it is time for us to have a health summit. CS Duale says it's already been set for the 18th, I think, and 19th, so that we can take stock of where we've been, where we are, and where we should go. And what are the successes, what are the challenges, and how together we can secure the future of our country insofar as our medical requirements are concerned. I am looking forward to having a conversation with those who run facilities in far-flung areas. I am looking forward to having a conversation with our CHPs. They can tell us their experience, and our doctors, and all the other people in between, and the Kenyan public on the experience they've gone through, so that we can together again formulate how we can make things better and how we can take our country to the next level. Today, we are saying one country, one emergency number, one clear duty to save every life that we can. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, another round of applause for His Excellency, please. Your Excellency, I seek your indulgence because this is a very momentous day. For 3 photos, kindly, with your permission, if you can just come back. Let's take our seats, please. Shah board, let's do this very quickly.